Hey y'all, and welcome to my channel, Kitchen Notes from Nancy. If you're new here, I would like to welcome you to our neighborhood, and I hope you decide to subscribe before you leave today. And if you are already a member, I'd like to greet you with the customary, hey neighbor. In today's video, I am cooking something that truly needs no introduction. Today we are making crispy, golden delicious salmon patties. But before we get started, if you could do me a big favor, go ahead and give this video a big like. And if you like what you see by the time we finish, be sure to share this channel and tell everybody what we're doing over here on Kitchen Notes from Nancy. So, if you are interested in seeing how I make my truly southern and delicious salmon patties, all you have to do is stay tuned. Okay, y'all, the ingredients for this recipe are super simple. So you're going to need 1 egg, and I'm using a can of the double Q pink salmon tonight. You can use whatever you want. I grew up on WQ, so that's the one I like. Occasionally I will get the one from Aldi though, but this is my favorite. For seasonings, you'll need a little bit of salt, some black pepper, a little garlic powder, onion powder. I'm gonna add a little cayenne pepper to mine. Y'all know that I like cayenne pepper. You can omit this if you would like to. And then I am going to add a little Old Bay seasoning. Now my mama didn't add Old Bay seasoning when she cooked hers, but I've kind of gotten to a point as I've matured in my cooking to where, you know, when I have seafood, I do like a little bit of Old Bay with it. You will need some onion. Now this is, you can use green onion if you want to. So you can use scallions, or you can just use, this is a yellow onion. And what I do, a little tip for y'all, when I'm cooking with the onion, if I don't use the whole onion, I just wrap it up in one of these little sandwich bags and stick it on the door in my refrigerator, and I use it the next day. So that's a little tip for you. You're going to need some cornmeal. Now, I use cornmeal mix most of the time, and so cornmeal mix does have some flour already in it, but we are going to use just a little bit of self-rising flour, and that's going to make our salmon patties puff up as we cook them. So I'm going to get this stuff out of the way, and we're going to get started mixing up these delicious salmon patties. So after you open up your salmon patties, open up your can of salmon, the first thing you're gonna do is just dump everything in your bowl, juice and all. Now, some people don't like the actual skin. They'll just take it off like this. I actually like the skin in mine, so I don't take the skin out. However, I do take the bones out. So if you're somebody who likes the skin and bones, it is absolutely no issue if you leave them in there. But I am going to take the bones out of this salmon, and I just reserve my can, and I just drop my bones over in that can. Right? And typically you can just open it up in the middle, and that's where the bulk of your bones are. All right, so I'm good to go. Let me rinse my hands off. Now, another thing that I do is I'm going to put some of this juice in the can, but I'm gonna reserve just a little bit. You want your patties to be firm and not have a whole bunch of liquid, so I just put a little bit in mine. But if you want a firmer patty, you definitely can do that. So the next step is to chop up some onion. So you saw when I started, I had a half an onion. Now, I'm not going to really use a half an onion. I'm going to use probably about 1/4 of a cup of onion. But you put as much onion as you want in your salmon patties. They're yours. I'm just giving you the basics of how to do it. But you know, you can adapt this recipe to your liking. So I just kind of cut mine up kind of fine. And yeah, I'm definitely not using this whole piece of onion. When I get done, I'm gonna let you see how much of this onion is actually left. All right, so I'm just gonna go in again and cut. If y'all hear some weird breathing, that is Legend. He is looking out the window on the other side of the kitchen as I'm cooking, so just kind of ignore it. It's old Legend. All right, so I got my onion chopped up. Now I'm gonna show you, this is how much of that onion I still have left. So I didn't use much at all. I probably used about 1/3 of a cup of onion. Now I'm gonna go ahead, crack my egg, put it over in there. Be real careful not to get any eggshells in there. And this can is a really good cleanup. It's my little trash can when I'm cooking salmon. So it's really good for that. I just leave it there and dump all my stuff in there as I go. So now I'm gonna go in with some pepper. It's a little black pepper. I'm gonna go in with a little cayenne pepper. Remember, you can omit that if you would like to. Go in with some garlic powder. Good little bit of that. And even though we have fresh onion in here, I am gonna go in with some onion powder. Now, my little secret, little Old Bay. And y'all know that I love to use Slap Your Mama. I could have used Slap Your Mama for this because it's just salt, black pepper, garlic powder, onion powder. So if you want to use that, you can. Sometimes I reach for it. Sometimes I just use the spices by themselves. There's really no rhyme or reason. Now I'm going in with some pink Himalayan salt, just a little bit. Canned salmon tends to have a good amount of salt in it. So, you know, be careful there when you start dealing with that salt. Now, I'm gonna go in with some cornmeal. These little things here, these little scoops, are about 1/4 of a cup. So I'm gonna go in with 1 little scoop of cornmeal and I'm gonna shake that around in there. Some people like to use flour, so that's a little less than 1/3 of a cup. Than 1/4 of a cup. I'm sorry. That's a little less than 1/4 of a cup. And for self-rising flour, I'm literally only using about 2 tablespoons. Cornmeal mix, remember me telling you, already has some flour in it, but I like to add a little self-rising flour to give me that puff. So now, you just mix. There is a fly. We took the trash out earlier, and there is a fly in my kitchen. I can't stand that. All right. So you just gonna mix it up. And tonight, I am serving this with some yummy cheese grits. The salmon patties are good if you just do them with some rice, some green beans, or some sweet peas. Do them with some cheese grits. This meal right here is just one of those down-home, good and tasty meals that you just can't go wrong with. All right, so I'm gonna go back in.
Just a moment.
So
You need to unlock your iPhone first.
No, Siri. Cancel. So I'm gonna go back in with that leftover cornmeal I had, and so that's gonna make it a full 1/4 of a cup of cornmeal. You want it, like I said, you want it kind of dry. Trying to make sure you get a good view here so you can see the consistency. And now I like my salmon patties kind of like, I like them kind of thin, but I'll show you when I start to cook them. And I just dip mine out with a tablespoon. I'm gonna dip it out with a tablespoon today, you know, since I'm recording for y'all. But sometimes I would use this fork right here and put them in the skillet. But we're gonna try to keep it a little cute since y'all are in the kitchen with me tonight, and at least use a tablespoon. So let's go over to the stove so we can get these fried out. So now we'll put a little bit of vegetable oil. I am using vegetable oil tonight. And so it's just enough to cover the bottom. So that's probably about 3 to 4 tablespoons. I'm doing just enough to completely cover the bottom. That's it. You don't want your salmon patties super oily. So you want just enough to cover that bottom, and that's plenty. All right, so you want to let that oil get good and hot. It's not where I need it yet because my skillet isn't hot up here. So I'm gonna let it go just a couple more minutes. All right, so we should be good to go. Let's find out. Now, to describe to you how I make my patties, I just take a tablespoon. Let's see if it's gonna focus. It's trying to focus. I take a tablespoon and I put a heaping tablespoon of the salmon on it. It's still not hot. Well, yes it is. It's starting to fry. And so I put it down and then I just give it a little smush. And I'm just gonna do that with all of them. And I can probably fit about 5 or 6 in this skillet. Let's see. So if you're watching this, I want you to drop down in the comment section and tell me what you like to eat your salmon patties with. I told y'all tonight we're going to be eating ours with grits. So tell me what you would pair with yours. I definitely, you know, I'm interested to see what other people are doing with theirs. I do like rice, I do like green beans, sweet peas, but there is nothing to me better than some good old salmon patties and cheese grits. All right, we're just gonna do 5 in this one. Now that egg that we put in there is going to help keep them together, help bind them together. And that flour is going to help keep them bound together. It really doesn't take long to make this meal from start to finish. My grits are almost ready. Matter of fact, I'm checking them now. Here are my grits. And honestly, oh, they're on a medium heat. I'm sorry. So if I did not tell you that already, they're on medium heat. And so you're going to cook them on this side for about 5 minutes or so until they start to get really brown. A nice dark brown color, darker than golden brown. All right, so I don't know whether the camera is picking it up, but they're starting to brown around the edges. So I went ahead and flipped the first one, and you want to flip them in the order that you put them in. That way you can make sure that they cook. And see that nice golden brown that's on there? That's what you're looking for. And y'all, my battery is saying that it's low. I thought it was charged, but it isn't. So if my battery goes out I will actually finish on my phone. So I'll let you know if that change has to happen. Let's hope that I can finish this video without having to do that. Even though the phone is probably just as good as this camera. All right, so this is what you're looking for. And we're gonna let them go about 5 more minutes on this side, and they are completely done. All right, y'all, these are ready to come out. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna flip this one over just so you can see what this other side looks like. They are absolutely wonderful. If you have never had salmon patties before, I dare you to make them like this. This is just old school Southern salmon patties, and you will not be disappointed. I just take mine out and I let them drain on a paper towel. So I'm just putting them on a plate with a paper towel, making sure that that little bit of grease that's in them, you know, gets absorbed nicely. And if you look, I am not going to add any more grease to this. And all right, y'all, so my camera did die. We are on a medium heat, and we're just gonna do the second batch just like the first. This oil is nice and hot. And we're gonna make probably 3. These are gonna be a little bit smaller, so I can get 3 out of it. I probably should have just made 1 big one, but I'd rather make 2 small ones. So remember, like I said, we're gonna do about 4 minutes on each side. We may be able to do a little less now since that grease is hot, but what you're looking for is that really golden brown. Zoom in. And typically your second batch cooks a little bit faster, or at least mine do, because that grease is hot. So I'm gonna go a little lower. I'm gonna go down to about mid-low on that heat because I don't want this grease to burn. And it's popping grease all over my stove. Go ahead and flip these, give them a little press. And I only use 1 can of salmon. So 1 can of salmon made 6 fairly decent sized ones and 2 small ones. So this is a really great meal if you're trying to stretch your budget, stretch your money. You know, with what we're going through right now, things are tight everywhere. So I definitely understand. This is a really good meal though, if you are trying to stretch your coins but give your family a good meal. Okay, y'all, so this second batch is done, and just FYI, I'm holding the fold in my left hand and getting these out with my right. So just bear with me. And try to drain that grease off if you want to, like that. See how I'm just putting it on that side? And you can use a slotted spatula, but this is the first one that I grabbed. Usually I use the slotted spatula. So y'all, this is it. If you're wondering where they disappeared to, my husband was extremely hungry. So he came in and went ahead and fixed his plate. So here is the final product. As always, thank y'all so much for watching. It is a pleasure having y'all a part of my neighborhood. If you could do me a really big favor, give this video a like, comment below. Like I said, tell me what you would eat with your salmon. Share this video with your friends and family. It would mean a lot to me. We're on that push to 5,000. So if you can help me get there, I'll greatly appreciate it. So until next time, y'all, bye neighbors.